Want to grow your own fresh vegetables at home? Like, share, and subscribe to Grow Your Own Vegetables for simple gardening tips.
When purchasing transplants, Melissa asks, if organic is not available, is it reasonable to buy conventional transplants and treat them organically from then onward? Or are seedlings generally free from chemical pesticides and fertilizers because they haven't reached the need for it yet? I'm in a new area. I totally get it. Sometimes we just don't have organic plants available. And I actually have put non-organic seedlings in my garden. So the things to consider, and so I know you're in Canada. These are greenhouse practices that are approved by the USDA. Canada may be similar, it may be a little bit different, so double check. But just being aware of the possibilities of what might happen in a nursery can help you decide if it's for you or not. So not everybody's going to make the same decision. So there is very few, there's a lot less pesticides, fungicides, and all of these things that happen in a greenhouse than happen in the field because, like you said, the plants are smaller, but there are still things that happen in the greenhouse. Specifically, greenhouses are a place of humidity. This is where fungus grows. This is where molds grow, algae grow, and all those kind of pests that we talked about earlier, those fungus gnats and all of that. These are breeding grounds for those sorts of things. So here's a couple of things that happen in nurseries. And also the other thing that can happen is that sometimes, we want our plants to be disease-free, and nurseries know that if they give us plants that are disease-free, that will keep coming back. So they tend to do some things to make sure that no diseases are possible. So things that they might do are sanitize their equipment with a chlorine mixture. That's like a 1 to 10 part chlorine mixture, and then they're going to basically dump that out, dry it in the sun, or they're going to use brand new materials. So that's all possible, but those are all things that we do at home too. And then other things that some places could do to their seeds to ensure that they don't get diseases. They sometimes use hot water or chlorine to kill disease-causing agents on or within the seed. So that's a possibility that your seeds might have been treated with a little bit of chlorine, as well as some kind of fungicide on the seed surface to protect against any decay and soil-borne organisms, such as damping off. So that's a possibility. And fungicides also may be applied as a preventative liquid drench that would be diluted and then sprayed on top of the plant. And so those are possibilities. Those are the main possibilities. And bio-fungicides do exist for organic practices. And basically they're using biological control of different kinds of fungi and bacteria and actomycetes that attack those plant pathogens. So this is how organic nurseries get around some of these issues. And then the other thing that might happen in a seedling is that they want to grow the most vibrant looking plant as fast as possible. And so they might put a growth regulator in. Here's one that is the only one that I know of that's labeled for use on certain vegetable transplants. Not all of them, just certain ones. Tomato, pepper, eggplant, tomatillo, ground cherry, and pepino. Notice it's the tomato family. And so oftentimes they will apply this as a foliar spray, and they're limited as to how much they can spray it, and they can't spray it any later than 2 weeks before the 2 to 4 leaf stage of development. So once the plant gets to a certain height, they can't spray it anymore. So these are the things that I know of that can be sprayed. And so I've asked, my nursery, I'm like, okay, so they're not organic. What's the deal? And they tell me, oh, they might have been sprayed with a couple of fungicides. And then I decide, okay, I'm okay with that because for the rest of their life, these plants are going to be totally organic. So that's the considerations that you want to think about for yourself and make your decision. For me, if it's a decision between growing food conveniently because I can go get those plants or not growing at all, I would rather grow the food. So it's up to you to make that decision for yourself as well. And everybody's going to be a little bit different. Some people will say absolutely no fungicides, and those people oftentimes will grow all their own seeds eventually because they're getting away from any possibility of any of these things touching their food. So for me, we live in a polluted world. We live in a world full of so much pollution, and our bodies, our nervous systems definitely are affected, but we're also able, we're smart, we're able to adapt and adjust, and we shouldn't have to be, covered in chemicals all the time. But at the same time, these chemicals have been present for, decades, and we've been learning to deal with them. So I'm not promoting the use of any of these by any means, but I'm also saying that for me, I know some of these are going to enter my world no matter what, and I'm okay with it every once in a while. Like right now, I have spinach growing in my garden, and it was not organically grown, but we wanted to put something in really quickly, and that's what was available. Or I'm sorry, the spinach was organic, but the kale was not. And we wanted to get kale plants in the ground as quick as possible, and it was worth it because it was, the timing. So that's a decision that you need to make for yourself.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And for more simple and practical gardening tips, subscribe to Grow Your Own Vegetables. For more tips and updates, visit gyov.org and join our growing community.